Welcome to Thursday Flow. And this week it's part two of a four-part series, Setbacks. As often happens in coaching sessions when we speak about the challenges and setbacks faced, I frequently hear the same pattern. People say, I make mistakes all the time. I never seem to accomplish what I set out to achieve. I always seem to put it off. Or sometimes the setback just doesn't limit them, it labels them, like it did me. I remember a speaker giving the example when he asked this question: are you single or married? To which the chosen volunteer replied, I'm divorced. Which is also the answer I thought to give at that time, because that was me. Now the volunteer was asked again, and this is when I began to think that there was more to this than originally met the eye, or in this case, the ear. When the question was asked again, my trick question alarm bell began to go off. Are you single or married? And again, the volunteer replied with, I'm divorced. Then he was asked, how long ago? 22 years, was the reply. 22 years earlier, something had happened, and he had carried that label ever since. That's the power of a setback when we allow it to define us. I immediately understood this particular example. Being divorced subconsciously carried for me another element to it, as opposed to being single. When I thought about it, being single has a far more powerful feel to it. It's independent. To me, it seemed to carry that element of strength. So there was a time in my own life when I allowed an experience to become my identity. Oh my gosh. I wore it. I spoke it. I believed it. It became the reason for where I was at. It was the heart of every conversation. Basically, this is where I am at because I'm a divorced woman. until such times as I became aware of what I was doing, and then of course chose differently. Because when you label yourself in a negative way, you begin to speak from that place. When you say, oh, I'm only XYZ, I couldn't possibly do that, or this always happens to me, and slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to settle and then cement yourself into that setback. So a label does three things. It defines value, usage, and content. So when you repeatedly say, oh, I can't do that, or, oh, geez, I'm always getting it wrong, you are reinforcing a limited identity. And that identity will shape your future. Unless you interrupt it. So let me share 5 common reasons people limit themselves. The first is early childhood conditioning. Let's start right at the beginning. And I'll give an example. There's a story of a young girl from a poor family who once went with her family on a trip to the snow. They were all packed into a small car driving up the mountain just to watch others ski. At one point, the little girl asked her mother, why don't we ski? And her mother replied, people like us just don't ski. Now that moment could have become a lifelong limitation. But her story didn't end there. A few years later, that young lass met friends at school who did ski, and she decided she would learn. And so she did. That's the power of a belief being challenged. Because early conditioning can plant seeds like, this is just who I am. This is just where I am. This is as far as I go. But those beliefs are not the truth. They are learned. Number 2, another influence is social and cultural conditioning. And haven't we been examples of that ourselves? The environment you grow up in, the conversations around you, the expectations placed on you, they all shape what you believe is possible. And sometimes there's an invisible ceiling, the glass ceiling, or what John Maxwell calls the law of the lid. Don't go too high. Don't stand out too much. Stay where it's comfortable. But what if you are the one who is meant to rise beyond that? What if you are here to break that pattern? Something to think about. Number 3, another cause of limiting beliefs is past negative experiences. And we've all had things that didn't work out, things that hurt very, very much, things that didn't go to plan. And there's a proverb that says, unrelenting disappointment can leave you heartsick, but a sudden breakthrough can turn your life around. And that's the truth. Yes, things may not be working perfectly right now, but we don't have to stay there. We have the choice. We get to rise. We get to move. We get to grow. Number 4, another major factor is the fear of failure. You absolutely have the right to create a great life. But let's be honest, you will need more than a vision. It's not enough to just see it. And by now, if you have been following me, you'll know you have to feel it and live it. And you have to take action. You have to fight for it. That is, you must believe it is yours, right to your core, right to your inner core. You have the sight and you have the right. Part of this journey is reclaiming your courage. Getting to the point where you say, there has to be more than this, and I'm not staying here. And finally, number 5, low self-esteem. If you don't believe in yourself, it's time to seek a new perspective. It's time to believe in yourself. Because the truth is, you are something special. You are something unique. You are something powerful. There is only one you. You were born an original, and you are not here to live as a copy. So if this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. With heart, until next week, Margarita.